And welcome back to the H2H Sports Podcast. Hope y'all are having a great day. Today, Thursday, June 16th, the Warriors and the Celtics play Game 6. Closeout game, in my opinion, the Warriors are going to wrap it up tonight. The Celtics had a golden opportunity again in Game 5. Curry had an off game, didn't make a 3. Crazy stuff. Who would have thought that he didn't make a 3 and the Warriors would have still won? But I think today it's all over. Serena Williams is coming back. She will play in Wimbledon 2022. She has the 6th best odds to win the whole thing. Can she do it? Can she get her 8th Wimbledon? And Nick Kyrgios defeats Tsitsipas in a great match. Kyrgios is a beast on grass. He's a beast in any surface. He's volatile. He's sometimes he's not right in the head, but you can't deny the talent. But yeah, all of that on this episode of the H2H Sports Podcast. Let's get started. Warriors in Boston tips off at 6 p.m. here Pacific time, 9 p.m. over there in Boston on the eastern side. And the Celtics are playing for their lives. This is a elimination game. The Warriors could clinch it tonight. Game 6, you got to look out for Game 6 Clay. You got to look out for Curry having a bounce back game. We'll see if Draymond does anything. He started a pretty good in the first quarter last game, and then he kind of teetered off. But I do think this is it. I said before the series that I had Warriors in 6. Celtics had some opportunities where I was like, damn, they might take this, namely in Game 4 and Game 5. Game 4, they were the better team for most of the game, and they just couldn't build that lead. They couldn't break the game open. Game 5, it was just like, come on, dude. Curry's having a real bad game, and you guys are not taking advantage. Like, that's just a gut punch. I think the Celtics are not going to show up today. They'll make it interesting. I don't think it'll be a blow up, but Tatum, I think he's going to continue to struggle. It sounds crazy that a first team All NBA player is not going to have one good game in the whole series in the finals, but that's just how it's been for Tatum, and I expected it in Game 5 to have a bounce back game after he didn't play that good. In Game 4, he had a lot of turnovers. He had a decent amount of points. It's more or less the same with the Celtics. Their players don't play terrible. Brown and Tatum, they play all right, but they don't show up in the critical moments. Namely Tatum and Brown. Smart, he's up and down. Horford, he'll give you some points, but he hasn't been playing that well as of late. But Tatum and Brown really need to step up, and they just haven't. They're too loose with the ball. Too many turnovers. And it's just killer. It's killer when you're playing the Warriors and they have players that could go off. Poole had a good game last week, or last game, I'm sorry. Wiggins had probably the best game of his career. Had incredible defense too. The development of Wiggins has just been incredible. Like, props to the Warriors. That trade that got them Kuminga and Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell looks like highway robbery now. I remember at the time, even I was criticizing them. I thought they should have packaged their pick plus D'Angelo Russell for a star, but I guess they know better. They knew that they needed a versatile athletic wing, and that's what they got from Wiggins. And yeah, he's getting overpaid. He didn't deserve that max contract, but as the number 2.5 at the Warriors, I think that's the perfect role for him, and he's shining in it. And he's really displaying all his talents. Like, he could really just showcase his athleticism, and he's a bucket. You can't deny that. Wiggins is a bucket. He's always been a bucket. He's a natural 20 points per game scorer, and he's having a great finals. I don't think he's gonna steal the finals MVP. As much as I would like him to take it away from Curry, because that'd be funny. I don't think he will, unless it goes 7 and Curry just doesn't play good. Game 6 and Game 7, and Wiggins just continues to play at this level. But like I said, I think the series ends tonight. The Celtics had enough chances in Game 4 and Game 5 to take control of the series, and they just didn't. And I think it's time. It's over. It's over today. I don't think they'll go back to San Francisco. Tatum, the only way is coming back to San Francisco is if both Tatum and Brown have good games. And that the Warriors defense is just too good. They've been good the whole season. They have players that could put the clamps on you. They play good team defense. Everybody hustles. That's one of the things that's distinguished the Steve Kerr Warriors, is that everybody tries, everybody runs, everybody rotates. Even Curry, who's not the best defender, you can see that he's always putting in effort. He's always, always having the hand raised up. He's running around everywhere. Yeah, he might not have the frame to be a great defender, but he's always running around. He's always switching. He's always communicating. That's one of the things that I could appreciate about the Warriors. Their team defense is really good, and they still have the anchor in Draymond Green. They have Gary Payton II. They have Wiggins, who's been amazing defending Tatum. So I don't know. I don't see the Celtics bouncing back. They started off like super cold in game 5, and then they heated up and they couldn't miss a 3, and then they cooled off again. And I think they're just too up and down. They need to have a consistent game, and they're just too up and down, and they're not good in the clutch. And in the fourth quarter, Tatum and Brown disappear. Or Brown, he's been a good fourth quarter in the playoffs, but they kind of disappeared in this final, especially in the last few games. So I lost faith in the Celtics, and like I said, I think the Warriors close it out today. But changing topics, Serena Williams is back. She has been granted a wild card for Wimbledon 2022, and I'm super stoked, super excited. The GOAT of women's tennis, maybe the GOAT of tennis overall, is back, 40 years old after a year absence, after hurting herself in the 2021 version of Wimbledon. She is back, and she's playing at Wimbledon, going for her 8th title there. Do I think she has a chance? She's the GOAT. Even with a year off, even being a mom, even being 40 years old, I still give her a chance. Like, she's that good. She's that good on the tour. Not many can compete with the power that she could generate. Her serves, maybe only Osaka could really compare with her. So I definitely give her a chance. And the sports books do give her a chance too, as she's the 6th best favorite to win it. Some of these odds, I don't agree with as much. Iga Swiatek is the first one. Obviously, she's a favorite. She should be everyone's favorite. She's like on a 35 match win streak. Naomi Osaka, second favorite. Emma Raducanu, third favorite. I don't know if that's because she's English and because she won the U.S. Open, but she's coming back from an injury and she hasn't had the best results after the U.S. Open, so I don't know why her odds are so great. Simona Halep and Annette Kontaveit. I'm pretty sure it's because she's the number 1 Britain woman player at the moment. So I'm pretty sure that's why her odds, Emma Raducanu's odds, are so good. But I digress. Serena Williams being the 6th favorite by sports books, that's a lot of respect for Serena Williams to take a year off, to be coming back from an injury, and she has like basically no warm up. I mean, she is playing a doubles tournament to warm up, but you know what I'm trying to say, like no real rhythm going into this. That's incredible, and I think that's a testament to how good she's been over the years. She's a 7-time champion, and she's definitely, she won it in 2016. She got to the finals in 2019, I believe. So, it hasn't been that long since she was very competitive at Wimbledon. But like I said, a year off, she's a mom now. Like, how focused is she? Like, she has other, ventures that she's going off in now. She's making commercials for the Super Bowl. She's definitely a business lady. She had that movie that came out, which was great, with Will Smith. So, like, how concentrated, how much does she want this? I think she wants to have a good, closing chapter in her book. When she's ready to wrap up this career, I think she wants to end it on a high note. But I just think Iga Swiatek is just playing so good that I can't see anybody else winning. She's moving so well. She's hitting the ball so cleanly. She's so effortlessly. She looks so effortless when she plays. It's just everything just comes super natural to her. Obviously, Serena Williams is the GOAT, and it looks very natural when she does it too at her peak level. But I don't know. I think she'll definitely, she won't have like a flop at Wimbledon 2022. I don't think she'll be like a first or second round out. I think she has enough talent. She has enough just natural ability to take a year off and get to like the 3rd or 4th round. But can she get to the round of 8, the round of 16? I think maybe the round of 8, semifinals, quarterfinals. I think that's right about like where she'll get to. But, I would not be surprised if she gets to the finals and just wins the whole thing, or maybe loses in the finals, depending on what the draw is. she gets all the way to where she has to face Iga Swiatek, and then that would be a blockbuster, must-watch TV matchup, which I would definitely like try to watch or record. But I'm just happy she's back. I'm just happy the GOAT is back. I'm happy that I get to see her for one more time, and I hope she does good. I'm definitely going to tune into her matches and support her and root for her to get to that 25th Grand Slam. I think she's at 24 right now, which is ridiculous. But yeah. Oh yeah, she has 23. I hope she adds the 24th Grand Slam to her trophy cabinet. But overall, I'm just super happy, super pumped that she's coming back. There was a lot of people that were speculating that she might not ever return, that was it, that she was just gonna fade into the sunset. So I'm super pumped that she's back. Pumped that I'm gonna get to see her play again, and she's the GOAT. So I wish her the best. Kyrgios defeats Tsitsipas 5-7, 6-2, 6-4 in the Halle Open. He punches ticket to the quarterfinals. He's having a really good start of the grass season. He got to the finals of the Stuttgart Open, where he lost, or the semifinals, where he lost to Andy Murray in a close first set, and then he kind of fell off in the second set. But now to defeat Tsitsipas, who's ranked number 5 or 6 in the world right now, is just another top 10 victory for Nick Kyrgios. And in an interview that just happened not too long ago, he did talk about himself being a really good grass player and saying that he would consider himself top 5, top 10 in the world when it comes to playing in the grass surface. And I would say that he's pretty much right on par. Like his game suits grass really, really well. He has a great serve. He has a lot of his shots are very flat, and it tends to work better in grass. I think he's a good hardcore player too, and he honestly, when he played that one tournament in clay, he did not look bad. He's just a very overall good player. Yesterday when I was watching the game against Tsitsipas, they kept talking about the racket talent, RT, like that Nick Kyrgios has one of the best racket talent on tour. And it's true, man. The things that this guy could do with the racket on the court is just ridiculous. Like some of those winners that he hits with so much pace, so much velocity. You don't see too many players on tour do that. Even in the top 10, maybe like 5 or 6 can generate that much power, even have the confidence to attempt some of those shots. And he looked like he still did some trick shots. Kyrgios did do it behind the back, and he ended up winning that half volley behind the back, which was ridiculous in the third set, I believe, yesterday against Tsitsipas. He's still doing trick shots. He's still entertaining the crowd, but I feel like he's toned it down a little bit. He knows when to pick his spots. The behind the back half volley yesterday, it kind of looked like it was kind of more out of a necessity. Like the ball was kind of behind him. That's why he did it. It doesn't look like Kyrgios is searching out those opportunities as much as he was before. Like he's still very entertaining, and probably one of the most entertaining players on court when the rallies is going, and when he's berating officials and other stuff. He's just a whole show, but he's still one of the most entertaining players on tour. But I think he's concentrating more on his tennis now, which is good to see. I just wish maybe he would like get his mentals a little bit better. But honestly, that just might be the way he operates. Like, yeah, I get where people are coming from. If you watch the telecast in different channels, different people feel a different type of way. The tennis channel broadcast was kind of like really like going in on Kyrgios and saying that he's distasteful, and like that, I forgot who was commentating, but saying that she has some kids that know better and behave better. And if you're watching the tennis TV channel or the ATP channel, then they're kind of more like, okay, like this is the new Kyrgios show. We know what's going on. And yeah, I could see both sides. I could see how it could be distasteful. Like even me, like I like Kyrgios, and even I see him braid officials, or I could see the match going a certain way. I'm like, all right, I could pretty much expect Kyrgios to kind of lash out in the next couple of minutes. Like I could see him teetering. But like that might just be the way he operates. Like especially, I know in tennis, it's a gentleman's sport. Like we're not really used to this. We're not really used to seeing players show that emotion and berate officials and all that. But if I could just tie this whole podcast together and talk about the NBA Finals and Draymond Green. Draymond Green is that type of player where I think in Game 2 he was berating the officials, and he talked after the match saying that He's earned that respect to be able to, challenge the refs and talk to them like that. And people were saying that in game 3 he was gonna get kicked out because he's basically challenging the officials, and he kind of toned it down in game 3. He didn't attack the officials. He kind of tried to lower his intensity, or not intensity, but like his demeanors and how provocative he is on the court. And he had like the worst game ever for game 3. So he kind of on his podcast, he kind of says like, oh, I got to be true to myself, and I can't do that. I just got to play how I play, and see how it falls. Like, this just might be how Nick Kyrgios, how he operates, how he is. Like, he just needs to always be walking that fine line, just like Draymond Green does. Like Draymond Green, if he doesn't walk that fine line where he's about to get a technical, or he's about to get kicked out of the game, he might not be the player that he is. He might not be the impactful player that we know Draymond Green is, because when he tries to tone it down, when he tries to be respectful, like he has that game 3 performance he had in the finals where he's just a non-impactful player. But where the comparison ends is that Draymond Green, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, and he's been a great defensive player, but you wouldn't say he's one of the top 3, top 4, top 10 skilled players or most talented players in the NBA. He kind of needs to have that energy and walk that fine line, because it kind of makes up for the lack of talent, or like the lack of full player that he is, and that's the role he plays. He's an impactful player on the team. Whereas Nick Kyrgios is kind of the opposite. He's very talented. He doesn't need to, or you would think that he doesn't need to walk that fine line to get himself up. Like, he's just naturally really good. He's just really, really talented. Like I said, they kept talking about racket talent. He has one of the best racket talent on tour. So you wouldn't think that he needs to walk this fine line where he needs to challenge the refs and just get super hyped up and super amped up to be a top player. But that just might be the way he operates. That just might be what makes everything click. And not everyone's the same. Like, I know a lot of people watch Nick Kyrgios play, and he's like, why is he going so fast? Why is he serving so quick on his second serve right after his first serve? And that's not the conventional way. Like, usually you miss your first serve, you kind of want to concentrate, bounce the ball, really thinking about your second serve so you don't double fault. Nick Kyrgios is the opposite. He misses his first serve, he's already ready for his second one. And for the most part, when he's on, and it doesn't matter if he's shouting at the ref, if he's having like conversations with the crowd, or if he's going super quick. Like, it just works for him. So you got to take the good with the bad. I get that Nick Kyrgios could be a lot for a lot of people, and he did destroy the bench on the side. So there is things that he needs to control and do better. But I think some of the stuff that he does, it just works. Like, we just accept it. We just accept it for what it is in basketball, for players like Draymond Green. And if I could tie it to soccer, like Pepe for the Real Madrid center back, he always walked that fine line. He was an enforcer. He was that player that had to get in people's faces, and he was intimidating, and that was part of his persona. And we just accept it in other sports, but in tennis, it's a gentleman's sport. It's like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be talking to the ref like that. You shouldn't be doing all this. Well, I mean, why not? It's a sport. It's emotional. I get it. He definitely goes over the line sometimes, but I think sometimes the commentary is just too critical, maybe. But maybe I'm just coming from someone that, goes to soccer games, goes to baseball games, goes to football games, lives in the US. Like, this is the type of stuff that I'm used to. And tennis is a gentleman's sport, and I know it has a lot of history of being, you got to be super respectful and just tone everything down. I get it. I get where people are coming from. They want to keep tennis this super, college sport where everyone's super nice. No one has true, like, real, like, different emotions. Everyone's just kind of robotic. I get that. But I also see where Nick Kyrgios, he loves basketball. He tunes into other sports. He could be like, damn, I like how Draymond Green carries himself. He's an enforcer. He really shows his emotions. He's not black and white. He shows who he is. But obviously, I could also see that Nick Kyrgios sometimes goes too far. But I digress. I think Nick Kyrgios is a great grass player, and he has a chance to, punch his ticket to the semifinals tomorrow when he plays Pablo Carreño, and I think he should be the favorite. Carreño, he's a very consistent player, so we'll see if he's able to give him trouble. But if Nick Kyrgios ends up winning or gets to the finals of the Halle Open, then he might be seeded for Wimbledon, and that'll be good for him because honestly, he could have a good run in Wimbledon. Obviously, it's a 5-setter instead of a 3-setter, so he would have to keep his cool and his head straight for more than just 2-3 sets, but he might be able to do it. I could definitely see Nick Kyrgios making like a quarterfinals, semifinals runs at Wimbledon. But that should do it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Just a quick episode. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. Enjoy the finals. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.